Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stock Market Today. It's Alyssa Corum and Ken Shreve here, and on today's show, we're going to be taking a look at current market conditions, of course, and three stocks that are setting up. But we begin with a look at how the major indexes closed today. Now, this is a chart of the S&P 500. We saw strong gains across the board today and a notably strong close. The NASDAQ finishing up 1.7% in the S&P 500 and Dow finishing up about 2.3% apiece, Ken. And this comes after a pretty ugly day yesterday.
Yeah, and it also comes after some pretty bearish headlines in the stock market. We had worldwide coronavirus cases top 1 million today. We had weekly jobless claims released before the open that totaled 6.6 million. I mean, these are pretty rough numbers, and the prior week claims soared to 3.3 million. So we're going to get the jobs report tomorrow for March, and we'll see what that holds. But sometimes stock market bottoms are put in when they're least expected. So we're going to analyze the price and volume in the NASDAQ and S&P 500 today in the big picture column and discuss its significance, if any.
Yes, that's right. So make sure you check out that big picture. If you go to the homepage of investors.com and the market trend tab on the top navigation, you can get to it right there. We look forward to reading that, Ken. And moving on, let's take a look at a few individual names, starting off with Seattle Genetics, a strong gain today of nearly 7%. And right off the bat here, you can see that relative strength line with the blue dot. So that's a new high for that relative strength line. Pretty compelling.
Yeah, I love these MarketSmith charts. I mean, this is just a perfect base setting up with recent support at the 200-day moving average, and you pointed out that blue dot right on top of the 97 RS rating. So that's always good to see when a stock is building a base. You can see the pivot of 124.32 for Seattle Genetics. They're a major player in cancer, and they're not profitable yet, but they are generating a lot of sales every quarter. I checked their latest quarter sales were up 66% year over year. So you've got a fundamental story going on at Seattle Genetics and a bullish chart as well. So we're seeing a lot of setups out there in the market. None quite as good as Seattle Genetics, but we're just keeping an eye on stocks building bases right now and looking for stocks that have the potential to lead this market higher.
Yes, and Eli Lilly carving out the right side of its own base with a gain of over 4% today, retaking that 50-day line, now just about 4% below prior highs.
Yeah, exactly. And, obviously very volatile price action in Lilly in recent weeks. You get a nice dividend yield with Dilly at Dilly, a nice dividend. A nice dividend yield with Eli Lilly of 2.2%. Company has really a broad portfolio of drugs that treat everything from diabetes, cancer, cardiovascular health, and another example of a base setting up here. You may have an early pivot at 144, but it's going to still have to take out its prior high of 147.87. But definitely paying a lot of attention to stocks showing relative strength in the market, like Seattle Genetics, like Eli Lilly.
Yeah, and Ring Central also holding strong. We saw a gain of over 4% today, above average turnover. Some nice support there at its own 50-day line. Where would you peg the buy point for this one?
Well, this is kind of still in the early stages of forming a base, so I'd be a little reticent to put a buy point here. Obviously, its left side high of 252.20 is looks to be a resistance level. You can see earlier in the week, Ring Central tried to break out over that 252.20 level, but it reversed lower. It extended losses on Tuesday and Wednesday, but it managed to move back above its 50-day moving average today. There was news the company unveiled a new product called Ring Central Video, which is going to go head to head with Zoom video communications, video conferencing platform. So Ring Central, by all indications, is very well positioned for growth. They signed a very lucrative partnership last year with Avaya that really should drive meaningful growth going forward. So in the software space, still think there's a lot to like about Ring Central.
All right. Well, we'll definitely have to see how that competition shapes up there in this new era of remote work, and if Ring Central can continue to climb higher from here. Well, that's it for today, everyone. Again, make sure you read that big picture column from Ken, and you can be sure the in-depth conversation will continue tomorrow morning on IBD Live. That's your place every morning, starting 10 minutes before the opening bell and running through the first hour of trade, where our market experts break down the action and really what you need to know about the market's direction and how to handle your portfolio.
That's exactly right, and you know, we were definitely looking at today's market action as positive. You know, we did actually, ironically, see a lot of kind of top performing growth stocks today come under a lot of selling pressure. Names like, well, Zoom Video
Right.
and there was a slew of others, DocuSign, Atlassian. So amid pretty strong gains for the market, you know, the big reason behind the S&P 500 strength today was meaningful outperformance of oil stocks, which have just been beaten down mercilessly. But like to see more and more growth stocks start ramping up here. But today's strength was driven a lot by oil.
All right. Yeah, that's right. And for more of those insights, again, make sure you check out that big picture column, and we will see you right back here tomorrow to cap off the week.